I think today's gonna be a spicy episode because I've had a shit day at work, so it could get. I'm pretty fired up. Live from the paddock. What's up, guys? F1 America, official F1 America on Instagram. We're live. We're live on Instagram. Nobody's watching, but we're live.
Guys, what's up? We are here to recap the Australian race, and I got to tell you what a showdown it was.
Melbourne.
What a thrilling race. I would say, hands down, I know we're only 3 races into the season, but by far the best qualifying session and the best race of the season. So much action, a lot of crashing, a lot of changes.
Just shit show from FP1 all the way through, to be honest, because like Checo looked like he was pulling his hair out. I think he forgot how to drive, and then he figures it out during the race, which, I mean, there's definitely some luck, which, hey, part of racing, I think, for sure. I would say there's definitely some luck needed, right? I mean, George, bad luck. Checo, good luck. The Alpine's bad luck. We're going to recap it all. I think today's going to be a spicy episode because I've had a shit day at work, so it could get. I'm pretty fired up.
Let's do this. Let's dig in. So, guys, thanks for joining us. We are super excited just to keep building this channel. We're loving this race series that's going on right now this season. A ton of action, and let's just fucking get into it. Let's give it to us, Tristan.
Like I said in the beginning, from the start of FP1, it was just kind of all over the place. The Haas's were looking a little bit of spicy. Some of those slower mid-pack cars were looking really spicy. Like Mercedes, it was obviously not ever really there. And then, Lewis was up in the mix. George was up in the mix.
Yeah, George was leading, right? Actually, Lewis and George both passed Max on the opening lap, which I liked.
Just a lot of crazy stuff going on. And then you get that rain action in FP2, right? So in FP2, people forgot how to drive again. But I think it was a good test to see kind of how these cars will handle in the rain compared to years past. Obviously, like certain guys can drive really well in the rain. I think Carlos is a good rain driver. Max is a pretty good rain driver.
Yeah, Lewis is good.
Lewis is good. Lewis is obviously
all
talented.
the English boys, right?
I mean, it's raining there all the time, so you got to figure it out. So then you get to FP3, totally different track again. Qualifying was all over the place. Logan was looking good, but then he got nudged out, and then I think after that was just kind of downhill from there. What else happened that was pretty spicy? And then what happened in Q2? I remember in Q2 there was something that a couple guys got in, and I was like really shocked on.
Well, because Checo went out.
Oh yeah. Checo just forgot how to drive again in Q1.
Yeah, he crashed in Q1. Was it Q1 or Q2?
No, it was Q1 because it was in the middle of Q1, or like not even halfway through it.
It was like the first
heater. I think.
Heater. Yeah, that's right. Q1. So basically started back of the pack. And then did he maybe take like a new drivetrain or something? Because I think he started from the pit lane, right?
Yeah, him and Valtteri did.
Yeah.
So I don't know why Valtteri did. I think because Valtteri didn't make it at Q1 either. So I think they both figured
they must have both taken like some type of engine penalty.
And you might as well take. You're already at the back of it anyway, so why not take it?
It's kind of a gimme at that point. Yeah.
If you had Checo on your fantasy team, though, man, he definitely killed it.
Yeah, he scored me a lot of points.
I fucked up and I changed my whole fantasy team once again, and I shouldn't have done that. I still got points. It wasn't any negatives, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it was any negatives, but I definitely didn't make there was minimal positives.
Yeah, I swapped Nico Hulkenberg for Hulkenberg for our local boy Logan, and man, he was having a really good race, and then I don't remember what happened. But
did he break? On quali, obviously he didn't get out of quali.
Yeah,
14th or 12th or something.
Yeah, he did okay, but
at where he's been.
Yeah, he was doing pretty good. He was, or no, it was Albon, wasn't it?
Albon had the shit luck, and then he spun on the first corner. I think you sent me that. I didn't finish watching it, but they were saying that it was very tricky to pinpoint what actually went wrong with the car, and he actually hit that corner slower than he's had in the past 2 laps. And I don't remember what the video ended up saying, what actually happened, but
basically something about how they were able to take a lot more speed than they initially thought, so they made some changes, and then what happened is he had an even faster lap, and somehow that threw off the tires just enough that when he came back around and he got a little loose onto the side of the track, that set it just enough that at that speed he threw it.
Got it.
So yeah,
not no sauce.
Yeah, kind of crazy to think about how much just little nuances can make a huge difference in a spin or a crash.
His crash was actually pretty fast too. Like I think you got pretty lucky. You got that spin off the wall. Like he spun, hit the wall, spun off the wall.
Yeah.
Then what was crazy is
Hulkenberg
barely missed it, and then you got sandblasted by all the rocks.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure was pretty terrifying because you weren't expecting. You're like, oh, car, and then you're like, oh, getting pelted. It probably felt like a fucking paintball gun or something like that. I would think.
Oh yeah.
Going that fast, like I'm sure he was still doing like $120.
Well, I know those rocks will get kicked up and they'll break fingers and stuff too.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. There's no windshield, like they have a visor on their helmet, but they're out in the air.
You know, your boy George Russell was actually doing really well. I think he's full of shit thinking he was going to fight for a win, but he was driving good. I will give him that. And the whole Mercedes clan looked really good this weekend. And then obviously Lewis finished P2, right?
Yeah, Lewis finished P2. Stoked about that.
And I think, that makes sense for him to be in P2. I don't think he was going to win by just the straight line speed. Actually, I saw a video on Instagram that said like the real time gap in like it shows Max go by and then it shows Lewis go by, but it's like it feels like forever. Like she just holds the camera there the whole time, and it was only 9 seconds, but it was like the longest 9 seconds of my life. I was like, goodness gracious, like, and they're still going like fast as balls.
Oh yeah.
So it was trippy because then you watch it on TV. You're like, oh yeah, he's 9 seconds. That ain't much. He's still in the mix, or like one little mistake, could put him right back there. And watching the clip in real life, I was like,
well, Max even had a mistake right there on the almost like the penultimate turn, basically, right? Like before they head on to the straight, and he had a complete off, and he's still way ahead of everyone.
Yeah, that was when he almost in the grass, right? Like he went
in the grass.
Yeah,
yeah. So just mowing their lawn.
Yeah, gotta keep it crisp and clean.
That's right.
Let's talk about Carlos. There's a lot of hot takes on Carlos right now. One of my buddies is like hating on him. He's like, Carlos is an idiot. He drove into the back of Alonso. What the fuck? And then I think the FIA did the right thing about giving it back to him, because there's nothing like that ruined Alonso's day. Like went from like first to last. This is 0 to 0 like quick, right?
Because it's a restart, so if you have any type of crash, everybody's right there and everybody's pass, and so you can't even have an opening to get back on the track if you wanted to. So I mean,
I have a new segment. I have a couple segments I want to introduce here today.
Let's do it.
So remember I was talking about I want to make a rant segment.
Yeah.
So I figured it out.
Okay.
One of the names, we'll put up a poll. One of the names could be the fuck FIA rant of the night, because everybody hates the FIA. They're annoying. They don't call shit right. So, and this is one of those. This could be debatable. Could be one of those instances. Obviously not in regards to Alonso, but in regards to Carlos's penalty. Or turn 16 rant of the night, because it's like the end of the racetrack. You're just overdriving. I don't know. We'll put it up. I was thinking of a couple other ones.
But other tracks have like 20 some turns.
Yeah, well, whatever. Turn 21.
Penultimate. That means the last turn.
Yeah, we could do that. Anyways, the fuck the FIA rant of the night is, I think Carlos definitely got fucked at the end of the race, because obviously you take a 5-second penalty, everybody's right there. You're going to drop to the bottom of the grid. You go from being 4th to 13th.
Well, so let's. I'll play devil's advocate just for a second. For sure, just for a second, because we all hate on the FIA for most of the time is because they're not being consistent.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now, I will say in this instance, they were staying consistent with what would normally be a penalty during any given race. Right? It just so happens to be that it was a really rare circumstance where there's a restart with only 2 laps to go.
Right.
So I think the penalty is just. I think the circumstance makes it really shitty, because he raced way better than last place, right?
Yeah.
And the circumstance made it to where he ends up, all of these cars are within that 5-second gap, right?
So playing devil's advocate.
Okay.
Double advocate you.
Can't do that. Nope. I won.
Let's think about this, right? So this same exact situation happens on the opening lap of Texas last year with George and Carlos. Carlos gets spun. George gets no penalty, which I know that's a year ago. the whole FIA team is completely different. Probably, I'm sure the whole staff is different, minus maybe a couple people. So, and you can't compare them to now, but it's like I feel like they're either going, the FIA needs to figure it out. They're either way overboard, or they need to let these fuckers race. And there's no like, you can't please everybody. I totally get that, and that we go back to the last show, we ranted about Abu Dhabi and how the FIA handled that. And then you know, last year with Texas and Carlos, no penalty for George.
I will say I thought they handled this scenario like I wish they would have handled Abu Dhabi. It was like, give them a red flag, let everybody like then race.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was cool to go, and you know, granted we run into other issues now. We're seeing some about, okay, we'll let them race now. Look at some of the problems that can happen, as far as a lot of crashes and stuff like that.
And other racing, it's I don't want to call them sports, but like hobbies and stuff like RC cars, that's like you can be 0 to 0 on the first. You can't win it on the first lap, and especially in a restart, right? Like everybody's just like, cool, we got 2 laps to go, I'm just gonna go for it. And that's kind of, I'm sure, what Carlos was doing, and what everybody was doing, which also made 4 cars leave the race instantly. You know, both Alpines
went out. Actually, Lance went off the track too,
and somehow saved
getting his spot back because of the restart.
Yes, so
restart.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just kind of shitty it's just like you can't win, and then you can't control what obviously the other drivers are doing, because they're like, oh shit, this is my time to shine, I'm gonna just send it. And it's like, dude, you can't send it in the first corner. Like if it's the last corner, fuck yeah, send that thing.
Yeah.
Take Max out, take Lewis out, take whoever out you want him to take out, and like go win the race. I'm all for it. But on the same token, you know, like, dude, doing a red flag with 2 laps to go, I almost think it's like, shit, like, what do you do?
Yeah.
But I get it. Going back to Abu Dhabi, that would have made sense, and going forward, it can make sense. But I think it's all circumstantial, right? Like if it's half the field's already gone, or why are we going to do a red flag just so we could wreck the rest of the remaining field? I don't know. I don't know the rights. I don't know how to fix it, but I don't know if it's the right call either.
It's not the FIA's fault that the drivers are crashing.
Yeah.
You know, like if they were, I mean, yes, they crashed on the opening lap a lot, right? There's a lot of racing incidents. They give a lot more leeway on restarts and whatnot, depending on what corner it is too. But I think that they're trying to set more of a precedent. Look, I'm also not a fan, but I do think that they've tried to reorganize that whole organization, and they have new leadership now. And I will say it seems to me that they're trying to stay a lot more consistent, because I think that was the argument for the past years from all the teams and everybody, even us as fans, is like the inconsistency is what is kind of frustrating, you know, because you're really not sure what's going to happen. I will say now, I feel like we're getting a little bit more consistency.
Yeah, I mean, compared to like the Max and Lewis year, right?
Yeah.
Lewis would get 5 penalties, Max would get a penalty, or vice versa. Like he would get 5 favors, and then Max would get 1 favor, and it would go back and forth all day for sure. And I'm not saying in any governing body you're always going to get pissed off at somebody. I don't know the solution to it, I think not everybody's going to be happy, but it's just I don't think I've this year have seen a call the FIA has made that I've been like, yeah, that was very cool. There might be one, and I can't think of what. I think it was like the first race. I think somebody got a penalty. I'm like, yeah, that was deserved.
You mean Alcon's 6 penalties?
I think that was bullshit. At that point, like, why are you gonna keep giving him penalties, dude? He's driving around like 2 minutes down.
I agree.
Like, I would just pull the car off and be like, hey, let's just save the motor at this point. Like, we're not gonna get any points. It doesn't matter. I mean, or you turn it into a test and tune session, right? Like,
yeah.
So that was like my rant right now. I'm sure I'll figure out another rant.
There's always more rants.
Yeah, there's more rants. Yeah, I mean, whatever. Did they ever say what happened to George? Just blew up the motor, basically.
Yeah, I don't know exactly
what
the issue was. But yeah, definitely caught on fire. So mechanical, nothing George did wrong. I think it would have been interesting to see strategy wise. I thought it was interesting they pulled him in, you know, to pit, and then he ended up in 6th on the safety car. And then they ended up red flagging that, so that really ended up screwing him in the long run, because it was, you know, George, Lewis, and then Max.
Right.
I think it would have been really interesting to see that play out a little bit more. Not that I don't think, you know, Max has a lot more pace and all that, but strategy kind of starts to come into a little bit of play
for sure.
Maybe if you're not 20-30 seconds ahead of everyone,
right?
But, I think it was cool just for me personally to see Mercedes up in there.
Right.
I don't think they're ever going to win, but even the fact that Lewis was able to, hold off Alonso for the whole race, basically, I thought that was pretty awesome too, and a good show for Mercedes that, okay, maybe they do have a little bit of the engineering coming back. We'll see. Could be a one-off race. We don't know.
Yeah, maybe those tighter courses. Well, also you said they're bringing in all the upgrades later in the season.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Sean. Thanks for joining us on Instagram Live. And I think, do you think, okay, playing another double advocate situation, that'll be my new favorite word, I think. Say George's car doesn't take a shit. Pit stops get involved. We know Max is faster. Car is faster. And do we think, like, if he pits, gets somehow shuffled back into the second or third spot, do you think Mercedes could be a threat, or no? Do you think he gets around both of them either way?
I think he does get around both of them. I just think he has that much more pace in the car. But I would like to see it, right? I think maybe it shows us what Mercedes' potential is in the next few races if they keep developing in the way that they are, and it actually wasn't just a one-off weekend,
right?
And that they can show that they can have serious pace in other racetracks too. I think that could be a really interesting to see. I think they could potentially. Now, I did watch something earlier this week that was really interesting about, and it kind of makes sense, about how Red Bull actually has a lot more pace than they're showing. They're just dialing it down and kind of playing it off because, we all know that if somebody excels way far beyond, everybody is got the microscope out looking for a way to slow them down.
That
right?
penalize them. All the above. Whether it's protesting them, looking at the budget again,
right?
Whatever.
Like, they're doing something, so let's figure it out, and then they'll protest it to the FIA, and then all of a sudden, okay, well, this is illegal now, and
they're dialing it back.
So I think it's all conspiracy. Nobody really knows, but I think it sounds legit, and I think it's a pretty smart decision too. If you do have that much pace, to like, why you don't need to show it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you're already miles ahead of everyone. You don't need
surprising actually comes from me, isn't it? No, I mean, you're actually a very smart individual when it comes to that sense, right? I mean, same thing like with any type of racing. Like, if you're in a stock class and you see that bike or that car or whatever it is sounds significantly different or looks significantly different, you're like, oh, that's questionable. We should probably go investigate that. And then you kind of have to like be really strategic on any form of racing, right? Especially if it's like if it's a mod versus stock or whatever. Which in F1, I don't think there's any rules when it comes to that, right? Like, the motor can't be there's no motor limit, right? Like, here's your block and you do what you want to do.
I don't know. There's got to be something, right? Like some type of fuel consumption. I know there's a fuel thing.
Yeah, you have to
stuff because
fuel.
That's what Ferrari got pinned on.
Yeah, they can't fill it up the least amount, right? And like, you have to do
yeah, and I think it's how much fuel your car can burn.
Yeah,
like
or how big your tank is. Well, no, because they go the whole race without refueling. So
yeah,
but they can't be too low, so they have to hold.
You have to have 1 liter after the race,
which in 1 liter is not a lot. Or how much is a liter?
Oh man, we should put this in gallons, right?
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm just
because really it's probably more ounces. I want to say it's like, don't quote me on this, but I want to say it's like 16 ounces or 24 ounces or something like that. So not crazy. We
well, think about it though. Like, if they need 8 liter, I feel like a liter isn't much. So like, and was Vettel didn't have enough in his car, right? Vettel last season when he had that podium for Aston Martin, he didn't have enough, and they rejected it or they took it.
So Nico had a problem this weekend.
Oh, he did?
And we thought, like, the commentators thought that maybe he was out of fuel because he finished the race and then he had to pull over.
So it's just over a quarter of a gallon of fuel. So if you can't pull 1 liter, so like Vettel or whoever it happened to, right, last year, was literally running on fumes.
So a quarter of a gallon would be 22 ounces.
You want to go to ounces per liter to ounces?
Yeah.
Sorry, pause. We're not very smart. 33 ounces.
Okay.
So,
isn't that what I just said?
I don't remember. Did you say 32? I don't know.
I said 23. Yeah, 33.
So, Jordan, thanks for joining us, brother. Our first guest.
What's up, Jordan?
We're just talking about Oz, Melbourne. Hopefully you guys watched the sick ass intro we did on the track video. That was fun.
Tristan's really proud of himself.
Yeah, I was really proud. It reminded me of Red Bud.
How many times do we have to?
We took that way too many times.
Just first take is all we need.
One take, everybody knows the rules.
That's right.
Who else was looking? Dude, what the hell is going on with AlphaTauri? Like, let's
Bro,
talk.
I don't know, man. I had a lot of
use the metric system. Yeah, exactly. We use the metric system.
I had a lot of hopes for Nick DeVries, and
he's on the struggle bus.
I'm not sure if it's just a totally different car than he's used to, you know, coming from Mercedes so much. But man, I really want to see him do better.
Was he Formula E?
Formula E champ, yeah.
And Mercedes, so.
And I'm pretty sure he was Formula 2 and Formula 3.
Did he drive a Williams car too? Right.
He got his first points was in Williams' debut.
For some reason, I thought he drove a Mercedes, the AMG car too, like the factory.
I don't think
Mercedes.
so.
No. Okay.
I don't think so.
Which I would think, shit, man, if you could drive a Williams, you should be able to drive. You should be able to drive an Alpha. I feel like that car is light years ahead of the Williams.
Well, but let's see. Maybe it's not because Albon and Logan have been, you know, finishing beyond what AlphaTauri is doing. So maybe Williams has a better car this year.
Why can't AlphaTauri just make the same fucking car as the Red Bull car? Like
outside of
rip it off, just mix it up a little bit. You know, when you're cheating off your friend's homework, like shit.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you think you can talk, right? Okay, you can't share stuff, but I don't know.
It's a Red Bull team anyway. I don't know. That makes zero sense to me on how that car is so shitty.
I just love that. I just watched, I don't know, some interview question with Lewis, and the interviewer was telling him like, oh, hey, you know, like Franz Toast was talking about how, you know, there needs to be a driver salary cap at 10 million, and you know, anything after that you don't need. And Lewis goes, who is that?
I don't even know who that is. So
yeah, that's the team principal for AlphaTauri.
Oh, nice.
So it was like, who is that again? Like, yeah, well, maybe you guys need to pick it up.
I guess I could see it, but at the same time, I mean, I don't know why you would do that.
The driver cap?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I get
ridiculous.
No, it'd be one thing if they made it similar to like referring to NASCAR. Like you make everybody drive the same car, like F2, like everybody drives the same car. And okay, at that point, then you could be like, everybody's in the same shit. If you're willing to pay the driver more, then it is what it is. I don't think. Also,
the driver cost doesn't go into the cost cap, so it's irrelevant for the team production.
Yeah. So I mean, that's really I don't know why.
I think he's just jealous. He's not making that much money.
Probably. Do you think? I mean, okay, hypothetically speaking, if money's not an issue, AlphaTauri can buy whoever they want. Do you think they go and snatch up Max or Lewis or George?
No. Because
so
Red
it's
Bull's
like
always going to get the priority, right?
Yeah. So
I don't even think Danny Rick would want to go back and race in an AlphaTauri.
Did he race in an AlphaTauri? Is he an F2? Did he race in AlphaTauri? No, he was a Red Bull. He's been a Red Bull pit forever.
Well, yeah. AlphaTauri's Red Bull.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But like their satellite team or whatever.
Yeah. Sister team.
You don't think Danny Rick, if he's got given an opportunity, like, hey, Yuki's doing shitty, get in the car?
No, because he has opportunity of getting in other cars, and he wants to be in a fucking race winning car. And AlphaTauri is not race winning.
Do you think Daniel could fix the car?
I don't think.
Do you think he could get more performance out of the car, or no?
Sure. I think he's good.
Like better than DeVries, better than DeVries and Yuki. Yeah, I would say that.
I would say probably. Yeah, I mean, he's also got a shit ton of experience.
He's driven almost every car.
And he's driven a lot of different cars. Yeah, I think that he could, but I mean, AlphaTauri will never be better than Red Bull because they won't allow that to happen.
Nope, he's taking Checo's seat by Spa weekend. Ooh, that's a hot take. That's a hot take, Jordan. Oh man, I wish you could have said that on camera. Jordan thinks by Spa. Why do you think he's taking Checo's spot by Spa?
Danny Rick's going to take Checo's spot by Spa.
I thought I heard that Max is going to wrap it up by Spa, and then Max is just going to retire the rest of the season, and then Daniel's going to come in, and then only go 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, and 3 in the
driver championship. Just big dick energy. Like, my god, could you imagine? That'd be like the biggest fuck you to Mercedes, I think. Like, if I was Christian, I would totally be down for that. I'd be like, hey, Christian, have you ever done this? Or sorry, hey, Toto, have you ever done this? Suck my balls, mate.
My balls, mate. I think it would be pretty badass to see, honestly. As much as, you know, I'm a Mercedes fanboy, and I think it'd be fucking sick to see. I think it'd be
just one time do it. Like, yeah, we got it wrapped up.
One season. I mean, it'd be pretty sick.
Checo, too many mistakes. Bad for Loon. a bad loon for RB. I don't know what loon means, but just like when Gasly lost his seat. What? Yeah, I forgot Gasly did lose his seat. But didn't Gasly go back
Yeah,
to
but
AlphaTauri,
Gasly
though? It was with
consistent. I mean, Checo won a fucking race already this year. There's only been 3 races.
Yeah.
I think Checo's good enough that he's got better mental game. Gasly was a fucking head case from the very beginning as soon as he got in that Red Bull. I think Checo's gonna fucking win the championship.
No, now that Max is ahead, they're gonna be like, oh well, Max is ahead now. We can't Checo, you gotta give up your number 1 spot for
Yeah, but it just takes one mechanical issue for Max to DNF and then all of a sudden
they're
Checo's
back up.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
So I think it could be interesting.
I do
like the hot take. I'm interested to see. Let's come back to that at
Can we do side bets on that?
Yeah,
can we do like
come
odds?
back to that.
Is there a points bet or MGM? We're not sponsored, but I'll take a sponsor from MGM, points bet, Barstool Sportsbook, all of them. What about? So I was gonna wear a different shirt today, but I got stuck with the F1 shirt because my grandma shrunk my McLaren shirt that I just bought. So thanks, Grams.
Oh, that'll probably fit me now.
I don't know, dude. It's pretty snug up top.
Medium now?
Dude, it's super medium. And that's why I changed.
If I keep losing some weight, then it'll fit me. McLaren
in the points. That was a sorry ass performance. Yeah. They didn't deserve to be in points.
Yeah.
I'll be the first. We'll tack this up on the fuck the FIA rant of the night.
I will say I'm glad they went back to the original starting because I was totally fucked in fantasy. I was like basically only scoring points with Max.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought was going to happen to me too, and then I somehow got points. I got points. I think the only points I got from Gasly and the Alpine guys was because they did decent in qualifying. Those are the points I got, and I didn't get negatives. But yeah, McLaren was sorry ass performance. As much as I love Lando, like it was just you guys got lucky. Oh, which I mean, if you're at the end of the day, if consistency and just pure luck get you there, I mean, you're not going to be a race team for very long. Excuse me. I don't know. It's not looking good for McLaren though.
It's not. They're looking really shitty.
Like they are. I think I'd honestly rank Williams over McLaren right now.
I mean, where are they in the point standing? They might be.
They're like 8th. Higher. I think McLaren's 8th right now.
Yeah,
I should look that up. Which I'm using my other phone that I could just easily get to the app, but I can't do that.
Who is Yeah, we should be like having all these statistics off our head.
Sorry, I'm not, dude. I got so much shit going on. I'm trying to sell empty bottles. I'm trying to work out. I'm trying to.
All right, I should
have an F1 show.
I should have all these stats.
Trying to like make sure you're a happy person. I'm not a happy person. Like Jesus, I can only do so much. Like and then my phone just sucks balls. So, what about talking about suck balls, mate? K-Mag and Nico. I feel like their relationship is healthy.
Yeah,
it has been. I mean, they squashed it at the beginning of the season.
They squashed it. I think things are good. They're vibing. They're racing good,
How do we feel about Haas? You think Haas is gonna keep the train chugging, or you think they're gonna start tapering off here soon?
I think they're gonna keep it going. I do. I think having 2 veteran drivers, I think they're gonna keep driving well. Neither of them are inexperienced. Like
I think also that.
MoneyGram's nice to have some extra cash flow.
MoneyGram having some cash flow for sure.
Yeah, finally.
Which actually we got another hot thing we need to talk about Haas. But so MoneyGram
about Gene Haas.
Yeah, about Gene. Yeah, about Gene. Yeah. But let me get through this first before I forget. So I think they know they're not going to be winning titles or they're not going to be doing anything crazy. So I think if they're consistently in the points, that's all they want. And Gene will be happy. Like, hey, cool, we got points this weekend. It's 1 point or it's 3 points. It's 5 points, whatever. Then you get a weekend like this, like Nico is 7th. Like, that's rad. Hey, Mag fucked it off by tapping the wall, which I don't do. That was wild that the whole wheel grenaded.
That was really wild.
And how he, like, dude, it looked like he didn't hit it that hard. Maybe it was way harder than we all thought, but it did not look like he hit that hard. It looked like I almost would think that was a tire default or something. Default.
I mean, you would think so, but you got to remember too that all these things are engineered so minutely, that like it's also carbon fiber, right? Like you think about carbon fiber, it's really, really strong until it's not. Like you hit it in one spot where it's not actually supposed to be hit and it fucking just shatters. So that's kind of how these things are built, right? They're not built to hit the wall.
McLaren moved up to 5th, and I'm pretty sure that was because of this weekend.
It has to be.
Haas is in 7th.
All right. Alpha's bound.
Alpha's.
Williams is still last though.
How?
I thought they
no,
both scored points.
Alex is
Albon
the
went
only
out.
one that's been scoring points.
All right.
AlphaTauri, when did they get points? Was that this weekend? Did they get points this weekend?
1 point.
Yeah, 1 point. Haas is at
I think
7,
you
dude.
did
Haas,
maybe last race.
Haas is looking legendary right now, dude.
Haas is doing good.
I think Haas is definitely could be top 5. I think they could be. Oh, actually, I lie. They'll probably 6. I think they could be 6th because I think they'll beat McLaren at this point in the like how things are looking. I think Haas look.
Yeah, I mean the
McLaren.
reason McLaren only has points is because fucking both Alpines crashed out and all the other almost half the fucking field crashed out.
I think there's 12 cars to finish.
Yeah, 12 cars.
Yeah, so
8 cars were out by the end of the race.
Yeah, I mean,
so
God, I wonder what all the investors and people at McLaren are thinking. Like, God, we used to be great. Now we suck. Like, I don't know. Oh, back to Haas though.
Yeah.
Haas might be no more. I heard a great conspiracy theory. Did you tell me this conspiracy theory or send me the video?
I might have sent you the video.
There's a video of the guy in the F1, or he's in the race car bed. I can't stand that guy. I don't know why. I probably should make enemies, but whatever. I just think I don't know.
We're just jealous. He has so many followers and we have 3.
Maybe.
But we love you so much.
Maybe.
You're our favorite.
Hey, YouTube, we got like 15. All right.
That's right.
4 of them are my own personal accounts, but
and our mothers.
Anyways, Haas, Gene could be under some scrutiny, could have to be forced to sell the Haas F1 team because he has a production plant of some kind. He makes other shit. You got to fund this team somehow, right? And so you got to you got to sell some shit, do some bad things. Which I don't even think it's bad, but
it's got ties to like Russia, right?
Yeah, it's got ties to Russia, and I guess they were selling parts of some kind to help them build shit in Russia or Ukraine or both.
Yeah.
And so you're not supposed to be helping them. So their old sponsor, ukulele, whatever.
Ukulele.
Which I wonder if that's what. No, that's like a fertilizer. I thought
it is a fertilizer, yeah, but it could also be a shell company because who knows?
Yeah, especially with Russia, there's so much shit going on over there, and or maybe maybe during that getting that sponsor, he met some other people to make some extra money. Anyways, their production plants over here are making shit for things or people in Russia. And so that being said, you're not supposed with the sanctions that are on Russia, not to get political at all, but just because of that whole nature, that could lead to some repercussions. Is that the right word? Yeah. Some repercussions. So
yeah, he may have to like reparations, I guess. So you have to pay back reparations, right?
Yeah, payback. So I think it could be like bad. Like he could go to like jail, not jail, but like he could get in trouble, like fined. He could be forced to like sell the team, depending on how severe it is, right? So there's big conspiracy theory that he could be forced to sell the team because he's doing this. So then that opens the door for guess who?
Andretti, baby.
Andretti, and he's been trying to get in. He's been knocking on doors, and so yes, we already know that who's he getting in with?
Cadillac.
Oh yeah, Cadillac. For some reason, I was thinking it was Audi, but Audi is getting in on their own. Who's Audi buying?
Audi's taking over Alpha.
Got it. Yeah. In 2026, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Like,
but 2026 is when Andretti was talking about it too.
Yeah, dude, that's like depressing. Why do you have to wait that long?
I think that's just FIA makes them wait for F1
to see how serious they're.
I don't know. Yeah, something.
I think that's bullshit. Like,
I think they need time to start developing. I think they have time to get the money for a team.
The car could be told. Well, no, they have the money right now because that company in Europe. There's some European company that, like, between assets and financial backing, it's like $248 billion. So the money is like there technically, and I think they have to prove that hey, like you can pay to play, which is dumb.
It's $200 million just to enter.
Yeah, which is wild. I mean, at the end of the day, like if you want to do, like think about this: if Bill Gates calls up the FIA and be like, "Yeah, I want to make an F1 team," are they gonna be like, "Yeah, sir, you gotta wait till 2030 before you can get into F1," or are they gonna be like, "Oh, you're Bill fucking Gates or Elon Musk or fill in the blank"? Sure. Like, let's just slide you to the front.
I'm sure they make him wait because all these other guys, I'm no doubt, are fucking billionaires trying to play in.
Jordan would probably know it. 2026. Oh no, it's when the next rule change take effect. So is that in 2026? So is that why they're waiting? They want to wait till 2026 to get in on the new rule changes and not maybe be behind on the car. Are they changing cars then? Is the car gonna get up?
They are doing, a whole nother car thing.
So maybe that's just a smart play on Andretti and whoever else, Audi, so that they can be up to date on the car, so that they're not like behind on like Yeah, thanks, Jordan.
But they're only a season behind anyway.
Yeah, I mean
2 now, I guess.
But say they got in next year. Like, I feel like you have engineers and all this shit's not like you can't test. So you literally build a car to go figure it out in Barcelona, and then this year is Abu Dhabi. Or no, Bahrain.
Yeah, this year was Bahrain.
So you build a concept car. How long could it possibly take to build a car? It's all 3D modeled anyways. So you have engineers, you build the car this year, you go test, either the car is great or the car sucks. And Andretti is going to just go rip off everybody else's car because that's what Aston did. He's like, well, Aston got it figured out. Let's just do that.
Yeah.
Unless Andretti he's like, yeah, I'm going to come in and win this shit, which I highly doubt that. I mean, I would love to see it. That'd be super sick. Like, Caddy coming in. Here's my DP, baby. Here's the Americans. Deal with it.
I would love to see that.
So I'm just fired up. Let's talk about Mick Schumacher. He's been showing his face at the races, or they've been showing his face. He's been there. He's just waiting for Lewis or George to fuck up, which, let's be honest, ain't gonna happen anytime soon. Right. Can he? Excuse me. Can he take a fill-in ride at Williams if you want?
I think so.
Or like, you say somebody gets sick or whatever. Yeah. You think he does? I feel like for wheel time, why not?
I think why not? Yeah. He's also only driven a Haas, so I think getting him more experience in another car like a Mercedes or something, some type of Mercedes, I think it'd be a good idea.
Do we see him or DR make a like FP appearance? Free practice.
Oh yeah, I bet they will get a practice.
1 or 2, maybe.
Yeah.
I know
I don't think they're gonna race unless somebody gets fucking out,
Yeah, hurt, sick, whatever.
Mm-hmm. But I think they'll get some practice time. I think they've already gotten some practice time.
What, at the test day?
Yeah, for testing stuff. I don't think for like actual sessions, but
Daniel's probably just wheeling the shit out of Sim.
Yeah.
I would think. I would imagine. And I would imagine Haas or Mick is too. So I'm just curious, I know with the upcoming drivers they did. I think Mick, no, not Mick. Who's the other guy? Prix. Excuse me, goodness. Was it DeVries and the guy in the Alfa Romeo? He got some driving time in like one of the free practices or qualifying or something like that. I don't remember his name.
Oh yeah.
I don't know his name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Drugovich? Is that the who?
Drugovich.
We talked about him, or no? He was at Aston Martin though.
Was he?
I thought he was Aston Martin's filling guy.
I don't know. He was somewhere.
Whatever. There's been guys in the past at the end of the day that got drive time.
Yeah.
But I thought it was always like upcoming guys, but maybe not. I mean, obviously the reserve driver.
No, not always. Sometimes it's like a good F2 guy that just never made it into F1, and he's just
the backup guy forever, and he's like cool.
I think that's Felipe Drugovich. I think he was really good, and he's no longer like his little brother's. I think racing now in F2.
Speaking of little brothers,
he never went up.
Did you see Charles
Leclerc, Arthur?
Yeah, Arthur. I think he was top 3.
Yeah, I think he got second, right?
Yeah, second. I'm pretty sure. Which is interesting. I wonder how he's gonna do.
So I think what's interesting to think about is there's a big generation of drivers from F2 that never get into F1 because nobody's retiring, right?
Yeah. I mean, Alonso's at this point is going to stay around forever.
I mean, we finally got like Kimi Räikkönen retired, right? And Vettel retired, and then
I bet you Kimi could have kept driving if he wanted.
Here's the thing: is I think they all could have kept driving. They just choose to kind of, like most of them are still.
Well, I mean,
I think Vettel's good enough. I think he just didn't really want it anymore. But Aston Martin from this year is a lot different than Aston Martin last year and the last 2 years. So, maybe he just didn't really have the drive because he wasn't fighting for wins.
Do you think? Yeah. Well, he said it that he's happy with his decision. I saw a clip or interview. Yeah. But I mean, do you think it would have been? How sick would have been to see him like battling for that 3rd spot on the podium? I mean, I don't think Vettel. I mean, do you think Vettel could have won? Who do you think's better, Vettel or Alonso?
I think Vettel's better. I like Vettel. I think as a person, he's a better person.
You got a personal grudge against Alonso. Sorry,
anybody who doesn't like Lewis, I fucking don't like.
Oh my god. Lewis Hamilton is one of the short calling. I just came up with that on the spot. Hot takes.
I think I think Alonso's driving really hot right now.
Yeah.
He's got 3 fucking 3rd places in 3 races.
Alonso. Ooh, that's a hot take too. Alonso's better than Vettel. Interesting.
Is that Jordan?
That's Jordan. Jordan's comment on that.
Jordan, you're not coming on our show anymore. Just kidding.
You go against the grain, against the Mercedes
No,
grain.
that's not true.
You
Still
get
come
canceled.
on.
This
Not
guy's
true.
definition of cancel culture right here. You disagree with Lewis and don't believe that Lewis is God, he'll cancel you.
That's not true. You're still on the show.
So I said some pretty bad things too. So. I'm surprised. You might not see me here next week, guys. So I'll just take my royalties. I got paid out from all these amazing fans we have. God, Mason's comments last week when we were on the boat was pretty hilarious.
They're pretty good, huh?
I think we should have teased that. But yeah, I mean, I don't it's so hard to tell because like Vettel was so dominant, right? In comparison to Alonso.
Yeah.
But now you see like I thought I heard speculation that this could be Alonso's last year.
Really?
I thought I saw that somewhere that he could retire at the end of the season.
Okay, if he wins the title, he'll retire.
Maybe that'd be kind of sick.
I mean, the guy's
that'd be super sick to see.
The guy's had a lot of driving in middle of the field for
a long time. He's probably amped up. He's probably like,
yeah, I'm sure this is gonna refuel it. You know.
Yeah, but do you think next year comes around, Mercedes and Red Bull are at the front of the pack. Aston Martin's not nearly as good because let's think about it. How long do you think Aston Martin's going to be good for?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to develop like the other cars do.
Like those top two teams.
Yeah.
I mean, Ferrari is not developing really well this year. Last year, you thought they were going to take over, but we thought that we saw the return. But
yeah,
I don't think the theory that we said at the beginning of the year is going to come true. The motivational
Charles Leclerc
breaking up with his chick and motivated and yada yada.
Yeah, I still think Max gets second in the championship,
but it's too hard. It's too hard to say.
Too early to tell. I mean,
win Bahrain and then get second.
Well, yeah, win the first opening race and then get second. But we may not know until the end.
We should put a poll on that.
Put a poll. Put it on our IG.
Yeah, we should do that. Anything else? Anything we need to talk about?
Not really. I mean, we've got quite a bit of time now. The next race isn't until April 28th, so we got quite a bit of time. I'm going to come up with another video I got kind of in the works on F1 driver workouts. If there's any other videos you guys want to see kind of in this downtime, just please let us know because we'll crank out some videos for you.
Yeah, no, I'm down to try anything once. Wow, that was probably terrible choice of words. But with that, like, comment, subscribe, live from the paddock.
Really whoring out for this channel.
Yeah,
I love it. Well, he'll stay out a little longer. Keep pouring out.
Really putting the work in, guys.
Pouring out for those likes.
Brandon says to join at the end of the show.
Perfect. Thanks for the support.
Yeah, thanks, babe, for the support. Hot take: both Williams fight for points in Azerbaijan. That's the next race. Hot take 3. Jordan's on a heater tonight.
We need to have Jordan again. Also,
back on the show.
Jordan didn't do what we were going to have every guest do.
Oh, I know. Jordan. Maybe do we need to release this right now?
We might have to have a telephone.
Yeah.
Or do we just ask him right now?
I guess we could ask him right now, but then I don't get his reaction. I need the reaction.
I know, we need the reaction. So we're going to have to phone a friend again.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do another, like, you know what? Let's have Jordan on for the pre-Baku race.
Yeah, since he's got some good
hot takes. So he thinks the Williams are going to fucking...
He thinks pure straight line speed is why the Williams will do well. Brana, if you're still watching, I would just give me a Starburst fuel. Sorry, I'm making my coffee. Oh, Jordan's FaceTiming in. Sorry, Instagram. I don't know if they can still see this. Oh, there he is. What's going on, sir?